Gentlemen, it's now the turn of Dr. Tom Crick of Cardiff Metropolitan University. Let me tell you a little about him. Tom chairs the National Learning Digital Council, the NLDC, and has a lot of interesting things to say on what needs to be done to shake up digital education in Wales. So a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for Tom Crick.
Good afternoon. Oh, my word. Well, there's been a lot of change that's happened in the UK, I suppose, over the past 2 or 3 years with regards to kind of digital education or computing education in particular. And I think we're at the juncture of a really important change. We're seeing a new curriculum that's starting in England in September. Scotland have changed the computing science part of their curriculum for excellence. And I think governments have realized that there are there's massive value from developing the deeper underpinning skills for technology than just focusing on kind of IT user skills or also digital literacy skills. So kind of resonates exactly what he was saying. Some of those skills should be seen as an absolute baseline to be able to develop these kind of deeper skills that both for education and more broadly for society, but also for underpinning the kind of economic aspirations for Wales and the UK. So there's been a lot of focus on computer science, and unfortunately there's not a great perception of computer science. So I'm a computer scientist, I'm happy to say that in public, and usually that's a conversation stopper, but there is a poor perception of computer science because it's usually around it's sort of the IT geek. So it's kind of the IT crowd, that type of stereotype about it's not a very high value discipline, and actually it's about kind of IT user skills. But this is having a really detrimental effect on kind of qualifications at school and also aspirations for wanting to study this subject and also the types of careers you can do from having studied this subject. And it is having a big knock-on effect for the broader gender and diversity within schools. And that, I think, we have to change that perception. That's crucial for one of the things, if we are looking at alongside curriculum and qualifications reform in Wales, then we do need to change the actual broader perception of the discipline. And actually, it's not just about creating computer scientists. It's not just about creating more programmers. It's a whole kind of step change in the way we value these skills and also what they can enable you to do in the future. So, you know, it is great being a computer scientist, but we don't want to turn everyone into a computer scientist, but actually these skills are educationally valuable for the future, for anything you want to do. And actually, it's good, they have wide-reaching benefits for all different types of sectors. Just to kind of reiterate, so I think, you know, we live in a computational world. So in the sense of, this is a report from the Royal Society from 2012, and essentially it's changing not only how sort of computational techniques or computing is sort of traditionally assisted science in the sense of you were using computers to do stuff, but actually it's really changed the way with kind of how science is done and what science is done. So not only, you know, the team that won the Nobel Prize for Chemistry this year, computational chemists, their discipline didn't really exist kind of 5 or 10 years ago. We're seeing it's the intersection of disciplines where you know, this is where cutting edge research is done. So it's bioinformatics, computational physics, computational chemistry, and essentially you cannot be a scientist or an engineer today if you are not able to leverage computation to solve problems. So you have to learn how to program. You have to be able to have an understanding of the computational complexity of solutions. So that's kind of how science and engineering is done now. And that's, you know, that's not for everyone, but in the sense of these skills are of utmost importance to develop at school because it is too late to try and to retrofit these at university or while you're in industry. You need to bed these skills in. Getting kids coding. This is kind of, we've seen this as a broader kind of national priority over the past 2 or 3 years, and it's an admirable, I think it's a really, really powerful thing. We've seen what the young people have said today and about the way it's empowering and enables you to be creative. So it's not just about, you know, kind of, if you think about the traditional stereotype of being a programmer, it's actually about having the skills to manipulate, break, create and do interesting things in a digital domain. And that's, again, that is not just for a computing sector, that is for essentially every economic sector. So we really need to, again, it's changing the perceptions and also giving people the opportunity to develop these skills both within formal education and also outside with extracurricular activities and also sort of code clubs and maybe through things like Scouts and other kind of sort of social ventures. So where are we in Wales? I think that's kind of the crux of my presentation. And I mean, I think if you've been following some of the sort of policy changes over the past 2 or 3 years, then a couple of years ago we were miles ahead the rest of the UK. We were seen as exemplars for how this was done, for really recognising the importance of some of these skills. And it feels like we have lost momentum. So last September, I co-chaired the review of the ICT curriculum with Stuart Arthur and Janet Hayward. And we made some very, very clear recommendations about where we saw the specificity for Wales in the sense of addressing the problems for Wales, but also offering some very, very clear solutions. So yes, there was, who's read this, who's looked at this report? Fantastic. Not many people. I mean, please have a look. It's easy to find on the web, and it's just that we made 12 very clear recommendations about what we wanted to do for ICT education in Wales, all the way from primary through to FE and HE, and looking at the connectedness of the pipeline, but also about how we can engage much better with industry and make sure we develop the currency of skills, but also we develop this deeper understanding of technology and actually the kind of the theoretical underpinnings with sort of computational thinking and problem-solving skills. And there has been significant success with there's been a number of successful projects. I mean, Technicamps based at Swansea University, Aberystwyth Bangor, and Glamorgan. I mean, they've made a big step change in the way that computing is perceived, and also trying to encourage young people to study this subject. But my kind of overwhelming feeling is we are missing an opportunity. The whole point of this conference is to kind of draw together all the major stakeholders within this area, and it's not just to fulfill the kind of traditional homogenous ICT sector, but essentially every sector is part of the ICT sector now. And it's how do we make sure that young people in Wales are equipped with the skills? And thus we can then draw kind of high value industry into Wales and sort of secure our economic future. So, sorry for the orientation, but these are the Welsh Government's priority sectors. So I would be hard pushed to see where ICT does not play a significant role or actually has a major facilitating role in enabling the future success of these sectors. So it also underpins broader things like the Science for Wales strategy that came out in 2012, the Delivering a Digital Wales strategy, the broader concept of having a digitally enabled and a digitally capable citizenry to kind of to have a successful nation, and also to be confident, healthy, and have fun doing stuff online and interacting with technology. And again, that has to start at school, but also it kind of permeates through other organizations and kind of the way we place value on these types of skills. Part of the Declaration of Intent. So essentially, this is cribbed from the new program of study for computing that's starting in England from September. And it's the first line that I want to kind of draw attention to, because this is essentially this is kind of why we are trying to push this, and this is why there has been significant focus. A high-quality computing education equips pupils to use computational thinking and creativity to understand and change the world. That is fairly grand. But, remember this is a government document, but that's exactly why, we are focusing on these skills. It's the baseline of kind of delivering, of identifying and making sure we have confident and capable digital skills, but also we want to make sure that we can be creative and innovative with technology. We can underpin some of the economic stuff, but we also, we can use this to solve interesting real-world problems. And that's exactly what we're trying to do. So, again, we're not by no means trying to copy what's happening in other countries, but that should be something that's in our minds in the sense of this declaration of intent. So this is, I suppose, in the sense of this is a Welsh Government organised event, and there have been some interesting kind of ideas and problems and potential solutions proposed. But I remember I spoke at this event last year, and I did a sort of a talking headpiece for in some of the kind of literature in the lead up to this event, and I categorically said in Digital 2013, I didn't want to be here saying the same things and talking about the same potential solutions to the problems in Wales. So we do have a massive opportunity, and we can be this kind of agile digital nation, but essentially we have to do something about it. And I think we know the landscape, we know there is still a lot of turmoil and upheaval with regards to we're in the midst of a Curriculum for Wales review. We want to make sure that we address the kind of broader educational and skills problems that we have in Wales, but we have to start doing something. Tomorrow is going to be interesting to see the diversity of industry and companies that have come here to Wales to speak and identify and kind of hear hear a declaration of intent from the Welsh Government. So that's kind of maybe we need to lay a marker down to the Welsh Government saying there is an opportunity, but we need to have that declaration of intent, and we need to see tangible change over the next year or two, because we need to fix the education and skills pipeline, but we need to have this kind of the aspirations for young people to go into jobs in Wales. Because there's nothing worse than if we do all this fantastic stuff at schools and colleges, we do fantastic stuff at universities, and then they go and get jobs elsewhere. So this is the opportunity, and that's the marker for the Welsh Government, I think. We need this declaration of intent, and where Wales can truly be a digital nation, and actually in 5, 10 or 20 years' time, then this is the kind of cornerstone of our economy and what we want to achieve as a country. Thank you.